All right, this is from Algebra 2, Lesson 3E, number 12. And what you're going to do here, remember I'm not a big fan of negative exponents. So personally, I would kind of go through and find all your negative exponents. I'm like, oh, there's one, and here's some right here. And I'm going to totally rewrite this so it doesn't have negative exponents. So right here, anything that doesn't have an exponent, a negative exponent, just leave him where he's at. But this guy, I'm going to put him in the denominator. So notice he had a negative exponent, but when I put him in the denominator, now it's a positive exponent. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. All of these are fine, so leave them alone. Leave them right where they go. But this guy right here, we're going to put him down here in the denominator. Notice now he did have a negative exponent. Now he's got a positive exponent. And we're going to do it again. There's 5b to the third. This a, he's fine, so we're going to leave him alone. But these two guys, we're going to put them in the denominator. So it's going to be an a and a b. All right, so that would be your first step. Now notice, I think this is great. I love it when things cancel. These a's right here, they cancel. You had an a in the numerator, a in the denominator, they're gone. So I'm left with 4b to the second. Because notice b times b, when you multiply, you add your exponents. So that's how we got that. Here I've got a 3a. Notice there's b's in the numerator and the denominator, so we're dividing. So you subtract your exponents. 3 minus 2 is 1. So we're going to have b to the 1. All right, again, these a's cancel. Same thing on the top and the bottom, so they're gone. So I have 5b to the, well, notice again, you're dividing, so you subtract your exponents. Or you could say this, where do you have more b's? You got more on the top. How many more? 2. All right. So you would think you were done, and it would be nice if you were, but notice we've got some like terms here. We have a 4b squared minus 5b squared. Make sure you're looking at the sign in the front. That was nice. So we have 4b squared minus 5b squared. That would be a negative b squared. Okay, plus 3ab. You could write it like this. This is perfect. Love it. Or this is just as good. You can write 3ab minus b squared. You just make sure, notice right here, this had a negative in front of it. It better have a negative or a minus sign in front of it. Either one of these is perfect. Okay, same thing. All right, now I'm going to do one other problem from 3H. Remember, you're supposed to start doing your honors problems for credit. They count. You need to do them. But I'm going to go ahead and just do number 1 from 3H. This is from page 39. And if you haven't done lesson 2 honors, you might want to go back and look at that because this kind of talks about the same thing. But number 1 says the professional gardener in the example on 2H can weed your garden in 6 hours. So think about it. It takes him 6 hours. That means in 1 hour he can do 1/6 of the job. Okay? His helper can do it in 10 hours. So that means in 1 hour he can do 1/10 of the job. Now if they would work together, okay, they're going to do one whole job. You always set this equal to 1 when they work together. So what you're always finding, you're trying to figure out, this is a little t to represent the time. How much time would it take them if they're working together? This is pretty standard whenever you have people working or things working together. But this particular problem tells me that the gardener worked 2 hours. So they tell me this t is 2. And then he quit. And he let the gardener, or I guess the helper, take over. So think what you've got here. You got 1/6 times 2. That's the same thing as 2/6. Or remember, that's the same thing as 1/3. So what you really have here, I move my little paper, 1/3 plus 1/10 t equals 1. Now there's several ways you can do this. You guys have calculators, so why not use them? I would probably move this guy over here. Here you're adding 1/3 to get him to the other side. You're going to have to subtract 1/3 from both sides. So what you're left with is 1/10 t equals 2/3. 1 minus 1/3 is 2/3. Okay. How do you get the t by itself? Well, how do you get rid of that fraction? You're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So you could do it like this. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal. That way these cancel. You can think about it. You get 10 over 10, which is 1. But you have 1t equals, 2 times that is going to give you what, 20/3? That's good. That's the same thing as what, 6 2/3 hours. That should be it right there. So there you go. There's number 1. That'll do it.